Welcome to Besties, where the tea is hot and the laughs are even hotter.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Sean. We're your favorite duo, ready to spill with you, dish with you, and serve up all the laughs.
Let's get into it.
Good day, folks. Today, we're diving deep into the world of unsolicited snapshots, questionable angles, and the digital disasters, aka dick pics. Some are bold, some are blurry, and most absolutely, completely unnecessary.
And who started this epidemic of pixelated pixels? Why do men think bad lighting and awkward backgrounds scream romance? And most importantly, has sending one ever actually worked? Spoiler alert, probably not.
So grab your magnifying glasses, y'all. Or maybe not, because we're investigating the good, the bad, and the please delete immediately in this very revealing episode of the Eggplant Files.
But first, before we dive in to the pickles, we have to talk about the lovely complaint department.
Brittany, what do you have for us this week?
So my first complaint is that I'm just really sick of smelling people in the store or when I'm out in public, just like not even being anywhere near them. But then they come closer to you and you're like, oh my God, you smell so bad. And not even like cologne. Like sometimes people walk by me, I'm like, you are a saving grace. Thank you for wearing that.
Yeah.
But other times I'm like, this is horrible. Like, do you not smell yourself? Like, yikes.
I'm dead. I'm dead. Yeah, I totally get that, especially I get more of the perfume thing than the smell bad thing. I usually just try to avoid people that may or may not look like they smell bad. But something that pisses me off too, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but I absolutely despise when you go to buy deodorant and you go to open the deodorant and the little Old Spice ship logo is no longer there, and there's streaks in it or there's little hairs in there because someone decided, oh, I'll just go into Walmart, rub it on my pits, make sure it's good to go, and then I'll walk out and someone else can buy my freaking armpit hair infested stick of deodorant. It's fucking nasty and I'm over it.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. I don't know who the fuck does that, but if you are one of those people who do that and you're listening to this, fuck right off, okay? Because I'm fucking done with it. I am so done with it.
Oh, God. Yeah, I buy a 2-pack that's like wrapped in the plastic, so that doesn't typically happen. But imagine you get home and like that's what you have, and you're like, Kevin, did you use my deodorant? And he's like,
Honestly, and I will say to this day, that is why I look every single time
oh
when
my
I
God.
buy deodorant. I always open the thing or open the cover and look because you never know. It's happened to me twice. Once was the first time I bought it. The same situation happened. Excuse me. Same situation happened, came home and it was used, so I was pissed. And then
No.
the time after that, I was checking them and I checked it and there was a hair. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not buying this one. So now I try to like reach my arm all the way in the back seas and get the one in the back because I ain't dealing with nobody's freaking armpit hair in my not yet purchased deodorant.
Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gents. Hit it from the back. Hit it from the back.
Get it, hit it from the back. On the subject of dick pics, hit it from the back, folks. Oh my goodness. So
So,
one of my complaints this week is the weather. I am so frustrated with, and this happens every time of year between fall and winter and spring. There's always these, it's warm one day, cold the next day, warm one day, cold the next day, and I never fucking know what to wear. And I'm sick of just waking up and thinking, oh, okay, it'll be, cooler today, or it's cooler in the morning, so you have to wear something thick, and then you come out of work or outside to when I walk the dogs and it's freaking hot, or it's warming up and you're like, shit, I freaking had all these layers on thinking it was freezing and now it's warm. And then it gets back to cold at night. So I just wish it was like one extreme or the other, or, there was like a gradual increase day by day. I hate that it's one day it's warm, one day it's cold, because then everyone starts getting sick and because they can't deal with the constant flux of temperatures and things like that. It's annoying. I'm over it, Mother Nature. Make it a little more progressively better day after day.
So it's like you never left New England.
Yeah, basically, it's the same down here. I know obviously New England, it probably won't happen for a little while longer, but the season is already kind of changing here and it's starting to get warmer, and then it'll be warm for like 3 days, then it's like 25, 30 degrees. It's super cool. And then it goes back up to 60. It's like it's all over the fucking place.
Good gracious. Get it
Good
together, Mother
gravy.
Nature. Yeah, good gravy is correct. So my next complaint is about onions and peeling them. I was making an egg bake the other day for a meal prep for this week for breakfast, and I was like trying to peel away like the orange outer shell, and it just kept like breaking off. So I was like, frick it, like I'll just cut into the onion and waste a whole layer. And I'm like, what a freaking waste. Like, I'm just so over onions being ridiculous and not just like peeling nicely. Like, why? Why do you have to be like this?
Yeah, it's so annoying, especially when I know when I go to peel an onion, it looks like it's like the littlest part of the skin, and then when you go to peel it, it's like gets thicker and thicker around the other side, and you're like, fuck, now I just wasted like a quarter of the fucking onion just from peeling it.
Oh my God. And I will say, the bigger ones are easier to do, like cut, but sometimes you just want like a bag of onions at your house and not like six huge onions. Like, what the hell?
I so fucking agree with that. Fun fact, if you cut up onion and you put it in ice cold water, like all of the little remnants, and then you put it into whatever it is that you're making, it will be less pungent. So like the taste of the onion won't be as strong. It'll be a little bit more subtle. So pro tip in case you ever want to add the onion on top without a lot of the zing or zang.
Good to know because I did make Big Mac bowls as one of my meal preps as well. And I just cooked the onion with the Hamburg so it wasn't as like potent of like bam onion.
Yeah. Love. Love.
Yes. Anything else on your end?
So, I'm gonna kind of go on a little bit of a tangent here. I am so sick of feedback, and let me be a little bit more specific about that. I absolutely hate when you create, so part of my job is creating training for people. I hate getting initial feedback. We do everything we can, myself, my other team members, we do everything to incorporate all of the feedback from last time, take away things that they say to take away, add things that they say to add, and then you have a second round of presentation for the edits that were given, and then they go back on what they said. So now they want you to add what they told you to cut out and then cut out what they told you to add. And then it's not meeting a specific population that they're looking for, but it's meeting the other population of the other person that we were creating the presentation for. So right now there's two different conflicting arguments between both sides. They both want it a specific way, but they're not communicating with one another. So we're creating this presentation thinking that it's ready and good to go, and it's not. So now we have decided that we have to make two separate presentations that basically have similar information but only cover certain things for one population of people and then cover certain things for another population of people. So I'm so sick and tired of working on all of these things, doing the best we can, and then we're getting additional feedback that immediately contradicts exactly what we were told in to begin with. And I get it. Feedback is fine. I'm fine with receiving feedback. I'm very good at taking it in, making corrections. But the second you start contradicting previous things that you told us to do, and now you're telling us to basically go back to what we originally had. It's super fucking frustrating. So I'm definitely pissed and frustrated with that this week. That is my biggest complaint this week.
Yeah, I would be upset with that too. It's like you almost have to create the original, duplicate it, and then on the duplicated one, you take out what, they say, and then you still have like the solid one.
Right.
So when they like flip the switch, you can be like, yeah, it's right here. We already showed you this to begin with. So here you go.
Exactly. So freaking annoying. I'm so over it. So if you're someone who is a supervisor or manager and you provide feedback, just make sure it's freaking consistent, okay? Because people get frustrated. The little people on the other end get frustrated.
So my last complaint is when two people talk over each other, but they both do not give up. And then once they both finish their sentence, they just talk about something else and move on. So they both don't hear what each other said, and they both don't care. And they also both don't care that the other person didn't hear them. So I'm just like looking at these people and I'm like, is everybody okay? Did you just have
and
to get that out?
and then you're in the meeting and you're looking around like, did anyone else understand what they said, or are we just moving on from that? Okay, great, perfect.
I was like, maybe they just needed to say that and not really have anyone here, but perfect. Okay,
Great.
great.
I'm
Glad
glad
you
we
got it out.
understood the assignment. Thank you so much. Thank you, Diane. Thank you so much for bringing that up.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Michael. We really needed both of that feedback.
For real.
Both of those ideas and feedback were much appreciated.
We
No
will
one
take that into
understood.
consideration. And then you just type in the computer, blah, 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 like a bunch of XYZ because you have no fucking idea what they said.
Literally, it's like, okay, Becky, you tag team Michael. I'll get Diana. Go.
For real. Let's follow up and then let's call each other back and talk to each other at the same time so neither of us know what we just said.
Like, perfect.
And let me be clear, I'm sure we do that sometimes on this pod, y'all, but at least one of us will stop and let the other person finish. It is one thing if, we just kept continuing to talk and didn't say anything. So we get it. We working on it. Okay. Well, I think we're good. Let's move on to the topic of the week. The Eggplant Files. From cringeworthy angles to questionable lighting choices, we're exposing, pun intended, the madness behind these infamous snapshots. Buckle up, it's going to be an unfiltered ride, y'all. We got personal stories from Britt and I. We have stories that some listeners submitted. So we are pumped to share all of these crazy eggplant file dick pic stories with y'all.
Yeah, so I'll go first. I was probably like a teenager at this point, like an older teen, probably like 19, 18, 19. And I was talking to one of my friend's older brothers, like, oh my God, the older brother who can buy alcohol. He's so cool.
The older man.
Yeah, well, that continued into my life, as you know.
Subtle foreshadowing.
Yeah. um,
Oh my gosh, I can't.
so, we would text or whatever, and he was like a bit much. And he would say things like all the time and try to be flirty, and I'd be like, yeah, yeah, okay, like we get it. Like, and I think he heard it as like, yeah, okay.
Get it,
And
Zaddy, get it.
yeah, as I'm like, okay, yup. And so he literally, I don't know what we were talking about or the context, but I remember getting a dick pic from him, and it was just like your everyday run of the mill penis, like nothing to write home about. But I just remember it was like in his hand, and like he was a mechanic, or he is a mechanic, so like his hand was like greasy and dirty, and I was just like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like,
You're
I don't
like,
even.
nothing turns me on like dirt under the fingernails.
Oh my God. Like, nothing against mechanics, like, love you. I can't do shit for myself with changing oil or anything like that. But what am I supposed to be like? Yeah, that's hot. Like,
And also, was this like in the middle of the day? Was it at night? Like what time of day was it?
it probably was like at night, I would think. I don't know.
It's
I
like,
think I tried to
okay,
block it. What?
I said, it's like, okay, do me a favor. First, go home. Second, take a fucking shower and scrub your hands. Third, get a fucking ruler and put it next to that bitch so I know what I'm working with. I'm not about
That
to just be okay with just anybody, okay? You gotta prove your worth to me.
literally. And by worth, I mean girth.
Dead. So what did you say after, obviously, to yourself? You're like, what am I supposed to do with this, lovely, gross dick pic? Like, did you respond to him?
I was probably like, so what's the weather like where you are? Like,
Has it started snowing there yet?
yeah. I'm sure I tried to change the subject. Like, wait, what do you have for dinner?
You're like, how about that feedback? It's really rough. Oh my goodness, I cannot. Well, I'm sorry that you experienced a dirty, filthy little dick pic.
Yeah.
Those are
How
never
about,
fun.
yeah, no. How about you? Do you have a personal little story?
So mine's kind of, it's like a dick pic and then some. I so apologize to any relatives in advance who are listening to this. I'm pretty sure my folks listen to this. Mom, I'm sorry for what you're about to hear.
Shout out to the
Um,
Ballards. Love you.
yeah,
Mean it.
right, literally. So I had this guy, he was my first boyfriend. We dated for a while. Long story short, we broke up, didn't talk to each other for probably 5 or 10 years. Fast forward, or it was like 5 years. Fast forward into junior year of college. I randomly just got a bunch of snaps from him, but it was late at night. I was half asleep, so I didn't really pay attention to who it was. I just saw that I got snap videos, so I was like, whatever, I'll answer them in the morning. So I look at the snaps in the morning, and when I open them, it is just dark. There's no light, there's no anything. I can't see anybody. All I can just do is hear. So I can hear sounds, I can hear certain things going on. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, okay? So I'm like, I have no fucking idea what this is. Maybe this was like a butt dial, or like he should not, this was an accident, whatever. Then the next one slowly starts revealing like more and more light. All of a sudden there's more people in the room. Then it's straight up just him like going at it on someone. And basically for the next, I would say, good 5 to 8 minutes, it is him filming himself having an orgy with a bunch of people in a
Perfect.
random hotel room. Yeah, they're it shows them like snorting lines, it shows them doing crazy crazy things, and I'm literally sitting in bed at like 7:30 in the morning because I always had an 8 a.m. class. I'm sitting there at 7:30 in the morning like I need to go eat breakfast. I don't have time for this. And also just wondering in general like what the fuck is this supposed to mean? Like are you purposely sending this to me? Are you not? So obviously me being, I message him on Snapchat and just say, was that meant for me? Like, did you know that you sent this to me? This is what I observed,
I
whatever.
observed.
Yeah, this is what I had just observed, what I had just witnessed. And I open the message, he responds and says, oh, I'm sorry, I just sent it to a lot of people. And then he said, but if you like it, I'm more than happy to, send you some more the next time it happens. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, one, I didn't ask for any of these unsolicited videos of you and many other men in a room. And two, you're an ex. Why would I want to look at that, be attracted to that, be on top of, like, you are an ex for a reason. I don't want anything to do with you. So I ended up just deleting his snap after that so he couldn't reach out to me. But it was absolutely insane. It was one of those moments where it was like Mrs. Doubtfire with the pot covers on her tits of like, oh, like no one else look. No one can see this. No one can see what I'm looking at. It's not me. I didn't fucking solicit this. I didn't ask for this. It just fucking happened.
Oh my God. Meanwhile, Bosco's like, Sean, what the fuck are you watching over
Yeah,
there?
right. Well, it was funny too because that year we lived together, but we didn't live in the same room. We lived in the same suite. So I had a separate roommate that year, and that was the first year that I had lived with them. And it was like, I was so fucking nervous that they were going to hear what was going on. If it was Bosco, he probably would have just fucking bursted out laughing and said, okay, you do whatever the fuck you want to do. But it was some totally random person, so I was like freaking out. But whatever. All in all, it ended up being fine. I deleted it, but don't send nobody any of those unsolicited dick pics, okay? Consent is sexy. Wait for somebody to fucking ask for those, okay?
I don't know who's asking for those, but you
Ugh.
never know.
No one our age, because of course we're, married and that era is long gone for us. Well, at
We're
least for
so
Kevin and I, but
we're so mature. No, people ask for Jeff and I's sex videos all the time. So we just have a thread, so it's not such a big deal. It's like
you guys
less
just
work.
have like a Rolodex that you can skim through. You're like, oh, should we do the beach one this time or should we send them the bedroom one?
Oh my God. No, those are so overdone. We've done those ones like 12 times. We've moved on.
Dead. We're on to like more boudoir and some of the risque stuff. S&M.
Like we're talking Eiffel Tower parrots. Oh wait, I think that's a
Oh my
position.
yuck. Oh my yuck. Oh god, TMI, TMI. All right, listeners,
It's
moving
not
on from our
true. We
fun
don't.
stories.
First of all, we don't really have a thread that we send these videos to, nor
Don't let
do
her
we.
fool you, she says.
Listen, if you just want to be on the list, just ask. You don't have to
Well,
be
we'll
jealous.
we'll talk about being on the list and close friends in a little bit here.
Okay, so my last story about my personal
Oh,
is it was this, I don't want to say boy because he's a full grown adult, but when I was babysitting, it was a friend of one of the kids I babysat for. Now, keep in mind, I was like 16, they were like 7 or 8. I don't know. This happened like maybe a few years ago. Like Jeff and I fully together have been like plastered all over Facebook. Like, you definitely know I have a boyfriend.
just to be clear, too, for context for the people listening, the person who you were texting was not 7 and 8, correct?
No. Well, no, I said I was 16 at the time.
Yes, but then you said, and the person was 7, the kid was 7 or 8, which I'm assuming you mean the kid you were babysitting.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God.
Just
Ew.
some clarity for the folks at home.
Yes. Fast forward like 15 years later. Okay. We're friends on Snapchat. He probably had added me when he had gotten a phone because that was like cool. Like, your parents give you a phone. You're like, oh, none of my other friends have phones. I'll add the fucking babysitter. So here I am, still friends with this kid on Snapchat. Well, adult. So, anyways, he sends me a message and he's like, hey, how are you? And of course, like, I'm excited. Like, I've seen these kids grow up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so good. Like, how are you? Like, how's this? How's that?
How's your penis?
No, 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 no. And, I think he like said like work's going good. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. Like, how's snowmobiling? How's this? Next thing I know, he sends a dick pic and I'm like, excuse me, what? How did we get here? Like, I was just like checking in. Like, you messaged me. Like, I was like,
I'm your
hey,
babysitter, damn it!
yeah, like what? And I had to be like, hey, like, just so you know, like, I think Jeff and I were like boyfriend girlfriends still, like, not fiancés yet. And I had to be like, hey, like, Jeff and I have been together for like 9 years at this point. Like, I'm all set. Like, please don't send me those. Hope you're well. Like, don't ever talk to me again. Like, saw a side of you, didn't want to see. Thanks. No thanks.
And it's
Terrible.
so funny when people send stuff like that. For me, obviously, it's a little different because I don't have as many, I guess, attractive body parts as women does. But it's like when that happens, what do you want me to do? Send back a picture of my titties? Like, what are you looking for out of that? Especially when it's completely unprompted. It's like, oh yeah, I love dicks. Here's some of my titty. Like, what? It's like, oh, I'll show you my favorite breast. Not both. I'll just show you one.
Oh my
It's like,
God.
give me a fucking break. Oh my gosh. Well,
Like,
sounds like you've had quite a good fair share of dictures or dick pics.
okay, perfect. Let's move on and crack open the Eggplant Files, where our listeners share the most unhinged, unwanted, and unfortunately high resolution sausage snaps they've received, from lighting that screams hostage situation to angles that should be a crime against humanity. These tales of tragic trouser snakes will leave you laughing, cringing, and maybe reconsidering Wi Fi altogether. Let's get into these tales of tip slips and digital dick appointments gone wrong.
I just love tip slips, y'all. Isn't that such a great freaking word? Oh gosh, if that ever happens to me and I get an unsolicited one again, I'm just gonna say, Kevin, look, a tip slip just came in. Fresh off the, or hot off the press. So, one story we had from one of our listeners was about when they were in college and they were, doing their grind, working while they were going to school, being a good studious person. They may or may not have been talking to this person and found them online. And they were going back and forth. This person was a bartender at a particular restaurant that the listener frequented at. And they were talking back and forth, completely unprompted, no emotion at all. This listener said that they just got a unsolicited dick pic of this man who basically was a tripod. It was one of the largest schlongs they had ever seen, and it was of the person at work behind the bar. So they're literally behind the bar taking a picture of their schlong while they're working. So
Perfect.
first and foremost, sir, I hope there was no one around. I hope it was dead. Second of all, I hope there are no cameras around watching the bar that you're working at, because usually I'm pretty sure restaurants have cameras that overlook the bar. And third, damn, go in the back or go in the bathroom or something. Oh, and fourth, on top of that, I hope you fucking washed your goddamn hands before you mix somebody's drink when they came in. But yeah, so the person that received the picture basically said I immediately stopped talking to them because it was way too large for what I was prepared for. So, on the other side of things, it could just be too big, folks.
Take your third leg and walk home.
For real. Start your hobbling now.
Put your dick between your legs and go
For
home.
real. I honestly think if I got something like that, I would be like, quick, hold my camera. They're already a built-in tripod. Just hold it up.
Literally. Oh my goodness gracious. That is,
Oh my
I would
God.
have had the same reaction, like, goodbye, gotta go. I'm
Literally.
busy. I'm busy that week.
Or
Can't
I would have
hang.
just sent them something tapping and been like, testing, testing, is this thing on?
Yikes.
Yikes is right.
Head for the hills.
Oh God.
Okay, so there is another listener. Well, we have a handful, but this listener sent in quite the story. So it starts like this. So, this guy I was talking to about a year ago was flirting with me, but sexting me and saying how when we finally got together, he was going to take me out to a super fancy restaurant, and then after he was going to absolutely ruin my insides and twist my organs sideways.
Oh God.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it sounds so fucking attractive.
And then after he was going to, oh my God, I fucked up.
Oh my God.
Okay, here we go. And I wasn't flirting back at this time, but after I heard that, I was like, okay, I'm going to see what this kid's about. And I said to him, and I said to him, let me see what I'm working with before I come out with you. And he didn't and he didn't text me for a few hours after that and then sent me a dick pic randomly, and I kid you not, it was the size of my pinky.
Oh God.
I then screenshotted it and sent it to my girlfriends, and he freaked out on me and called me a cunt. And I told him the only thing he was twisting was his head when he jerks off, and he blocked me.
Oh my God. This person is a savage. An absolute savage. Holy crap. So not even did you just take it for what it is. You sent it to your girlfriends and then proceeded to fucking insult the poor man. Oh my God. You
I'm
know
gonna
what?
ruin your
Yeah, I'm gonna
insides.
ruin your insides. That is fucking what about that turns you on? Like, I can't wait to ruin you. Oh yeah, nothing makes me feel good like my diaphragm going upside down or my fucking intestines moving up and down. Like, what the fuck?
I'm dead.
Oh,
I want my liver on the other side of my body.
for real. My God. I'll cure your kidney disease. Get up there and just poke her. My God.
I
Oh.
think I'm exhausted. I'm
Ah. Bend
dying.
over and I'll show you how to fix your bladder problems. It's like, give me a fucking break. Come on,
UTI?
people.
I got it.
Real. Pick a better line. Pick a better fucking line. Who are you? And it's even worse when you talk a big game and then that's what you're working with. Sad. Sad.
Totally sad.
Oh, good for you, listener. I am living vicariously through you and those actions. That is freaking hilarious.
I'm dead.
All right, well, we have another story from a listener. This listener writes in and says, I've been with my husband for 10 years. He has never once sent me a dick pic. Aside from that, I've seen a lot of dick pics in my dating days. This one guy sent me one unsolicited, and his dick was literally skinny and then fat and then skinny again. It looked it looked like a snake had swallowed a rat and hadn't digested it yet. My friend and I started calling him Small Big Small. I don't talk to her much anymore, but to this day, 20 years later, if I hit her up and said Small Big Small, she'd gag a little and know exactly what I was talking about.
Oh my god. We're
Who needs
echoing.
who needs a fucking vibrator when you got your own freaking dildo made from scratch there? You don't need a ribbed condom. You got a fucking Small Big Small right there for you.
I literally don't know what I would do in a situation if I saw that. First of all, I would be like zooming in and be like, is this real life or is this Photoshop? Because what's happening here?
I honestly am curious to just see it.
I know. Like, do you still have that?
Right. PIX or it didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Share with the class.
Right. PIX or it's not real, listener.
So our next listener, the only story about dick pics that is really memorable was a guy I matched with on Bumble was sending me a bunch of shirtless pics and video after video. So I told him he was coming on too strong. In retaliation to that, he sent me like 5 dick pics of the most massive dick I've ever seen and said, how's that for coming on strong, bitch?
Again, how is that attractive? Oh my God.
Maybe it was your video guy. Maybe you guys linked up. You
I
all?
cannot. I cannot. Anybody, like, I get it. Some people, it's probably fun or attractive to be like called a bitch or whatever, but my God, buddy, way to be super direct and forward. Points for that, I suppose. So, not necessarily a dick pic story, but a just a fun little fact or story to share. So when we asked people to send us their dick pic stories, we had a wonderful listener respond to our post on submitting dick pics and said, "I definitely need someone to tickle me with his dickle." So wherever you are, listener, I hope that maybe things got better for you, and maybe it happened, maybe it didn't, but
We're rooting
thanks.
for you.
Right, thanks for writing in.
Thanks for keeping the banter alive.
Yeah.
Our next listener. In my friend group, it's well known that if you leave your phone at the bar while you go to the bathroom, someone is going to pull pics up of black cocks on their phone and use the left behind phone to take as many pics as they can. So the phone is left with several cocks in their gallery, and they usually won't be discovered until several days later.
That is fucking horrible.
I've done it. She told me she must have done it in front of me because I'm pretty sure that Brie and I did this to Chelsea one night at the bar when she went to the bathroom. And it's hilarious. And I remember she was going through her pictures that night and she's like, oh my God. And we're like, bingo. The eagle
Why
has
have we
landed.
not done that to each other?
I forgot about it. It's been years.
Oh my goodness. In addition to that, I know we mentioned this earlier as a little precursor, but close friends on Instagram, like I've noticed that, you can do that. I'm not a big poster of Instagram, but there has been specific people that, I don't even know, and they friend me on Facebook or friend me on Instagram. And, I go in, I see mutual friends. So I'm like, okay, maybe I like met them at a bar one night or, so what kills me is, I'll hear from this person and, I don't know who they are, but we have mutual friends. So I'll just say, okay, maybe maybe I met them out one night or, oh, they're mutual friends with this person. Maybe they just like want to get to know me or whatever, because people do that. And then all of a sudden the next day, there's a close friend story. So I look at it and I'm like, oh, wow, I'm already like a close friend with this person. And it's completely like a nude shot and just like words covering up the goodies. And it's like, what are we doing here, people? I could be anybody. I could, for all you know, I may not even be Sean, you know? It's like that classic line from Bridesmaids. For all you know, she may not even be Asian, or he may not even be Asian. But like, you have props to you for having all of that confidence to be able to just add people to your close friends and start posting stories like that.
Yeah. I mean, get after it, folks.
For real, get after it. That's for fucking shit sure.
I love that. I want to be part of their close friends. Just kidding.
I want to see what they're working with,
I want to see the words.
right?
Um, so our last listener sent in quite a story. So, in college, I was a huge Tinder girly. Naturally, as a result, I got a lot of unsolicited dick pics. But this one guy stands out to this day, literally 10 years later. We matched on Tinder, talked on the app for probably 2 days. It was a typical what's your favorite color, where are you from, what are you studying conversation. Thought nothing of it. He asked me for my Snapchat, and of course, it's 2016. That was the main source of communication. From the moment I gave him my Snapchat, this man sent me nothing but dick videos. Like literally him jerking off, him slapping it around, videos of him coming all over his hand. He would even show me the tissues he would use to clean up.
Yuck.
Never never sent his face, never sent words, just penis every time I opened a snap. And no joke, I never replied. It was not like I was encouraging this behavior or feeding into it. I also remember his dick being super weird. Not that they're really all that attractive in the first place, but this shit was weird looking. This literally would happen at all times of the day, too. I'd wake up in the morning to multiple while sitting in my 10 a.m. theology class, during lunchtime, during my 2 p.m. English lecture, dinner time, bed, middle of the night. I don't know if this man ever worked or if his
Slept,
full-time
apparently.
right? Or if his full-time job was just beating his meat every minute of every day. Like it's Tuesday at 1 p.m. What are we doing here?
Literally.
Eventually, after 3 or 4 days, I texted him and was like, can you not? And he decided to text me back with the most disgusting and violating sex I've ever received in my life, along with another disgusting video of his disgusting penis. I finally blocked him on everything after that moment, and I still to this day don't know what this man looks like except for his one photo on Tinder. I can't even remember his name, but oh man, have I seen that disgusting penis from every single angle. Yikes!
That is absolutely vile. That is disgusting.
I'm tired for him. I'm exhausted.
I'm tired for her. My
That
God. Opening that shit every fucking day during class, during. I don't know what this man does for work, bitch. I don't know when that man sleeps.
I mean, something's got to be chafing his hand, his penis,
Oh my word.
the tissues. I don't know.
Wow, what a story. Well, sorry you had to deal with that trauma, listener. That sounds absolutely fucking horrid.
Yes,
Oh
agreed.
my God. Oh, I can't. I can't. I don't understand why these people think that this is a nice thing to do or that all ladies want to see that. We fucking don't want to see that.
We do not want to see that.
Oh my
And
God.
the thing is, girls would never. I mean, I'm sure there's some girls out there taking bad shots, but I just like could never. I feel like we take 5,000 photos of the same picture, but like we like move one piece of hair and we're like, ooh, it has to be perfect. Imagine trying to get your vagina. I'd be like, oh my God, from this angle, my labia, it looks too big. Like,
Wait, turn the flash on. Wait, turn it
yeah.
off.
Wait, can you try and smile down there? What the hell?
Should I draw a little mustache on it? What should I do?
Is there a landing strip or no landing strip?
I am fucking dead. I got the buckwheat.
I don't even want to know what that looks like.
It's from White Chicks. Throwing it back to the early 2000s. I know
It's
that
me,
movie is probably
Jessica.
not appropriate anymore,
What?
but man, it was fucking so good.
Yeah, boys are cheats and liars. That's such a big disgrace.
Oh my goodness, I
How
can't.
fitting. Love it. So, besties, it's time for the roast. Each week, we'll brutally break down a series, movie, or guilty pleasure, giving you our unfiltered, no BS take. What's binge worthy, what's a waste of time, and what has us screaming at the screen. Let's get into it. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I love this. So my roast is kind of a follow-up on your um your recommendation last week when you were roasting in a positive way apple cider vinegar. I
Mm.
decided to watch it. Kevin and I, we finished it in like 4 days. It was so, so good. Definitely interesting. Um, Sometimes you want to literally punch her in the fucking face. But yeah, it's crazy how she can manipulate the system and do whatever she can to. I mean, it's admirable. You have to definitely give her points for being super um,
Creative.
creative and motivated, I would say, to like do whatever she needed to do for her. But man, she did some fucked up things. So that's one of my roasts this week is just following up saying yes, definitely recommend it. And it was fucked up.
Yeah. Did you watch? I know I mentioned it last week, but I forgot what you had said. Did you watch Inventing Anna?
I have not watched that yet. No.
You would like that too if you liked
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you said last week. I definitely
yeah.
need to I need to add it to my list for sure.
Yes. Something that I'm going to roast. I don't know if it's good or bad, and it's going to be a different take for everyone. This book, Credence by Penelope Douglas, is straight up scandalous. Like, there is a literal warning at the beginning of the book, and I will read it to you just
Oh
so
my God.
if you're not into this, don't read it. And it says, Dear reader, this book deals with emotionally difficult topics including misogynistic behavior and power imbalance, group sex, sexual violence, sexual harassment, domestic abuse, child neglect, suicide, and bondage.
Perfect.
Anyone who believes such content may upset them is encouraged to consider their well being when choosing whether to continue reading.
They're just lumping it into everything nowadays. Bondage and sexual assault is all in the same category. Oh my gosh. So is it good so far?
Yeah, I'm a little over halfway now. They're long chapters and there's a lot of pages. Normally I fly through books, but sometimes I have to put it down and be like, all right, I need to step away for a
Yeah, I
minute.
need a breather.
Yeah.
I need whatever that person did. I need to get some toilet paper and video myself with the toilet
No,
paper.
no, thank you.
This
I'm busy
book is
that
getting
day.
me hot and heavy.
Oh, God. No,
Oh my
thank you.
goodness.
So, yeah, I recommend that book. Unless you're
Okay.
not into those warnings, then I say run for the hills.
No, I definitely love some good smut, so I'll have to read that once you're done with it. Um,
Yeah.
Another roast that I have, I've been watching White Lotus, and I just want to roast all these directors out there who are making these beautiful men such freaking creepers or like assholes. Like last season they had Theo James and there were a couple other like super good looking men and they were like weird or dicks or like, which I guess, presents the typical like super hyper masculine man who thinks he's like all that in a bag of chips, but I'm just like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, can one hot guy be normal? Like, why do they all have to be fucking creepy? And I get it, like, that's what White Lotus is about. Everything's fucking weird or creepy or whatever, but there's definitely some, like, weird shit going on this season so far, and the, like, main kind of, like, regulation hottie, if you'll say, is Arnold Schwarzenegger's son and he's good looking, but like I don't think he's like a panty dropper, but he's disgusting and weird as fuck. Like something's definitely gonna go on between him and his brother. It's fucking weird as shit. But yeah, that's my roast is these beautiful men are freaking creepers and I'm so annoyed by it because they're so good looking, but I can't like them because they do weird and gross fucking shit.
Vibes. Yeah. I've heard to watch White Lotus. Um, and I do want to because I have what is it on HBO Max, I think?
Yes,
Yeah. So I do want to watch that. So,
you
but
have to.
maybe
It's
skip
so
this
good.
season.
It's worth it.
Okay. My last roast is a movie Jeff and I watched this weekend with Shailene Woodley, I think is
Oh, yes.
her name, from The Secret Life of the American Teenager. That's how I like know her from. I love her. I it's like a not an action packed, but like drama action, like not my typical movie, but because she was in it and Jeffrey was like, "Do you want to watch it?" I was like, "Fine, love her." It was actually really good. I
Oh
was
my God,
like,
yes.
I really liked it. So, and that's on Netflix. I would recommend
I
watching
agree. It
that.
was very, very good. I liked it. I watched it halfway through, fell asleep, not because it was bad, but because it was like late and I was just tired. And then I finished it and it was absolutely worth it. I think it was very, very good. Lots of like twists and turns. Typical thriller, but it was really, really good.
Not like scary thriller, but like on the edge
No.
of your seat thrilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like kind of sad toward the end.
Yeah, it was.
But that's all we'll say.
That's it. Next.
All right, well, up next week on Besties and Banter, we're diving headfirst into the wild, weird, and totally unhinged world of conspiracy theories. From the ones that make you question everything to the ones that make you say, okay, but who actually believes this? We're spilling all the tea.
Did the moon landing really happen? Is your Roomba secretly a government spy? And why do all conspiracy theorists have the same whiteboard with too many red strings? Grab your tinfoil hats and a strong drink, besties. This one is going to be a crazy ride. Please submit any of your conspiracies that you want us to dive into, that you have any comments on, by Sunday morning. That way we can include it in that episode.
And thank you for submitting all of your dick pic stories. We truly appreciate it. We are calling this segment the Eggplant Files because we're hoping that, as we come down the line, maybe we'll have some more dick pic stories. Never too much to talk about or too little. So we'll definitely probably have another one in the future. So continue to submit. We love hearing your stories. Some of these, as you obviously could hear, were raunchy as fuck.
So, yes, thank you for sending those in. And besties, if you love the pod, make sure to follow, like, share, and subscribe to Besties and Banter. Don't leave us hanging. We know you're curious. Hit that subscribe button and sip with us on every episode. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep the banter rolling. So go ahead, share the love with your crew, because what's better than a few more besties in the mix? As always, in Besties We Trust.
Bye.
Bye.